We always talk about Social Security and how people just don't know enough about it. People took this quiz, pre-retirees, and almost 80% of them failed it or barely passed it. It's a quiz on Social Security, okay? So I think a lot of us, like I mentioned, are lacking knowledge about this major retirement program. Don't you agree?
Yes, sadly so. Well, they don't teach this stuff in school. It's not our fault.
Yeah, right. Here's the deal. That's why we're on the radio, right? That's why we do this, to help people.
True.
So I thought it'd be kind of good to go through some of these questions about Social Security, give this, sort of quiz, let our listeners answer as we go along. And it's kind of, a lot of these are just true, false anyway, okay? So
I'm ready.
Here's the first question that was on the quiz. In most cases, if I take benefits before my full retirement age, FRA, full retirement age, if you're ever reading anything about it, they will be reduced for early filing.
Well, I feel like everyone knows this, I hope. This is true.
Okay. True, and about 90%, a little over 90% answered correctly. So, yeah, you're right. Most people do know that. If you take them early at age 62, there's going to be a reduction, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Now, so really, everybody's different, but probably the best thing is wait full retirement age. At least that's what I'm thinking for my situation. But but you do evaluate that with people. That's one of the first things you look at, right?
Absolutely. I mean, these are very important decisions. When we sit down with a family, there's so much that goes into when do we take Social Security. We look at spousal age difference. Like, what's the age difference between you and your spouse? The next thing we look at is who was the breadwinner compared to the other, who made the most money, because that income benefit could be drastically different between two spouses. Number 3, we're going to ask you about your parents' ages and your parents' health. Did they smoke, drink, and you have chosen a healthier lifestyle? Maybe your health. We need to ask you about that. Have you had any cancers that maybe your family doesn't have? Well, that's important. And then lastly is about assets. Do you have a 4% money market or 3% money market that's not getting the cost of living adjustments and not getting the increases like Social Security is if you would wait? And many people forget that all of their money in an IRA is taxable, while Social Security is not 100% taxable. Only up to 85% of it's taxable. So there's so much that goes into deciding Social Security that you just can't make it flippantly.
Okay, very good. Yeah, so, that's why we're going over this quiz. This is a Social Security quiz that most of the pre-retirees failed. Here's another question. You just mentioned it. If I have a spouse and he or she passes away, I'll receive both my full benefit and my deceased spouse's benefit. What's the answer to that, Andrew?
Well, if you've been listening to this show, you definitely know this answer. I always joke that Social Security is not a 2-for-1 deal. If you both pay into Social Security and one of you dies, one of those benefits is going to die with you. The smaller benefit typically, and you would keep the larger benefit. And so a lot of people, sadly, don't know this or think that it's all going to be okay, because I can't make this stuff up. I had a couple yesterday. She said, that's going to be fine because I eat the most. And I was like, are you... That's pretty funny to say, but the power bill, the electric bill, they're going to be about the same.
Yeah, that's not going to change at all. So, yeah, okay, very good. So most of the respondents to the quiz got that answer right, about 3/4. But another question. This is a good one. The money that comes out of my paycheck for Social Security goes into a specific account for me and remains there, earning interest until I begin to receive Social Security benefits.
With these long answers, I was always told to vote, go with true or go with the longest answer.
Oh, yeah?
On these longer ones, it almost sounds believable, but it's false. That doesn't happen. That would be really nice if it did.
Right.
If you die with Social Security, the last time I checked, the death benefit was $600. And I'm like, isn't that the biggest joke of all time?
Right.
I was forced to pay into this program and I died and they handed me $600 as a refund.
Goodness sakes, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's false. You're not going to have your own little Social Security account, and it's a big risk too. It's because it's going to be up against legislative risk, right? It could change over time. We're kind of facing that right now, aren't we?
Right. If you did have a Social Security account, trust me, it's got an IOU because the government's been taking money out of the entire Social Security account to try to pay its other bills.
Right, and now we're in trouble, and because of their mistakes, and we're going to have to pay taxes, or they're going to change, our retirement ages and all of that. So if you have questions, Andrew and his team have answers for you about Social Security, about your income, about really, any questions you have regarding retirement. But this whole Social Security benefit and how to, optimize it, this is all part of your overall income strategy for retirement, right?
Absolutely. When we do a retirement sleep study, because again, Swan Capital, sleep well at night. We want you to have the goal of sleeping well at night in retirement. So when we're talking to families about income planning, we give them an A, a B, a C in this category because they have decisions to make. Do I take survivor benefit? When do I take Social Security? All of these are very important decisions that are oftentimes irrevocable after you make. This is $1 million decision for a couple. For most couples, it's $1 million decision on Social Security. And after 12 months, there's no mulligans, no redos, no I wish I could have. That all sadly is in the past, and you've now are stuck with your decision. And so many people, like the old wise tales is true. Most people spend more time talking about their vacation than they
Mm.
do when do I take Social Security? And to me, that is a tragedy because it's such a big decision that you shouldn't make flippantly, and you need to make it with a professional, not someone Joe at the water cooler who's only retired once, who you find out later Joe's broke. He had to take it early because that's the only option he had to do.
Yeah.
No, you want to work with a professional that's lived hundreds of lives, looking through other people's finances and saying,
Mm.
here's what's worked and here's what's not. So if you're looking for that second opinion, you're looking for that level of advice, give us a call at 1 800 848 8768. That's 1 800 848 8768.